All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo, Michael Bullock, and Dee Dee Woodson. Guys, it is draft night on the biggest night of the year. It's draft night, first of two nights, and here we go, guys. So, we started off with 3 rounds, 15 picks. Of course, Monday Night Raw gets 3, SmackDown gets 2, and we will decide from there. So, the first draft pick in the first round went to Monday Night Raw, and with the first pick in the draft itself, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there. I had it all set to go, and they just changed on me. Okay, so the first pick of the draft we had went to Monday Night Raw, and they selected the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. So McIntyre stays on Monday Night Raw and decides that they're not going to shake it up. So, SmackDown comes back with their first round pick, number 2 overall, and it ends up being the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns stays on SmackDown. We're cool with that. Third pick in the first round, it was to Monday Night Raw. They selected the Raw Women's Champion, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. So Asuka stays on Raw. So far, everything holding the form. Nobody's jumping to either brand. Nothing major has happened until SmackDown did. With their fourth pick and with the second pick in the first round for SmackDown, their last pick in round 1, they selected Seth Rollins. The Monday Night Messiah now becomes the Friday Night Messiah. The first bomb of the draft. Seth Rollins goes to SmackDown Live. I'm going absolutely ballistic. Florio is probably throwing his papers saying, "You son of a bleep. How dare you take my workhorse? How dare you take him away from me?" Well, Monday Night Raw comes back with their 5th and final pick of the first round, and they went big. Huge. As a matter of fact, all the members of the Hurt Business, that's right, you heard me right, Shelton Benjamin, the United States Champion, Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Cedric Alexander, all members of the Hurt Business, stays on Monday Night Raw. Okay, now this was probably expected. They got a little rivalry right now with Retribution, and I believe Monday Night Raw did not want to get rid of that storyline at all. So, if you look at it, Raw went very safe. They didn't really upset the apple cart, kept their WWE Champion, kept their Raw Women's Champion, kept a big stable on Raw. Okay, you're fine. SmackDown, though, kept its World Champion with Roman Reigns, but then plucked Seth Rollins from Raw to SmackDown. That was the big bomb of round 1, and I know that was the one that we're going to be talking about tonight, because that was a big get for SmackDown. So, do you guys want to talk about the first round, or do you just want to go right into the action? Anthony, I'm going to say it like this. That was a nice pick, to say the very least.
When it comes to the Rollins pick, I'm just going to ask you one question, MF. Do you like it? Are you happy?
Oh, I'm ecstatic with SmackDown's picks. I mean, yes, I understand you got to keep the Universal Champion, but dude, we got Seth Rollins. Oh
Yes,
my
you did.
God, we got the workhorse. We took
Well,
the workhorse of Monday Night Raw.
well, if this had happened a year ago, I would have lost my mind. I would have. But I'm actually okay with this because Seth's been on Raw for forever and a day. I kind of had a feeling he was going to be going to SmackDown, but then again, I read a dirt sheet earlier today saying that Drew and Roman were going to stay put, and that Seth Rollins was going to go to SmackDown, and that dirt sheet ended up being right. And I didn't share it with you guys because I didn't want to spoil it for anybody. I
Oh,
wanted this to
obviously
be
we didn't want nothing to get spoiled. It's draft night. Nothing should
yeah,
get spoiled.
absolutely not. So that's exactly what I thought. So that's why I didn't do that. So, but yeah, thing is, Seth Rollins is not the workhorse he once was. Drew McIntyre is now our workhorse. He's now our frontline soldier on Monday Night Raw. So you might think, oh, he's kicking and screaming and he's throwing a hissy fit. You know, believe me, I got plenty of other reasons to do that because of what just happened a little while ago. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna take it like a man, and I'm used to it. So that's all I can say on that. But we'll get into that behind the scenes, I'm sure. But for right now, Drew McIntyre staying on Raw. That also means the WWE Championship stays on Raw. I'm very pleased with that. Most prestigious title in the business. SmackDown getting Roman. That's not a surprise there. He is the Universal Champion, so that would not have made sense. Hey, we still have Asuka, which is great because you know how high I've been on Asuka for the last several months, especially because of the angry Japanese gibberish and the funny antics that she does from time to time. But she is the Raw Women's Champion, so that would not have made any sense for her to leave. Hurt Business. I mean, they're Raw guys. I can't say I'm a big fan of theirs, but hopefully down the road they'll do something. They'll get people talking. But yeah, MF round one, the big move obviously was Seth Rollins, and no big surprise. I mean, I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen, even without the spoilers. I had a feeling it was going to happen. So, congratulations, man. I mean, that's a big get for Friday Night SmackDown. And now you got Rollins and Reigns on the same show now. So, what does that mean for the future? We'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, pretty status quo first round. Even though SmackDown was the big winner, getting Seth Rollins, who will now be the Friday Night Messiah. But MF later in the night, Raw. Oh, did we get our sweet revenge, baby? Oh, can't wait to get into that later, big boy. So nothing more to say. Bullock, long time no talk to. I mean, a big night for us. Dining on the Diamond at McCoy, and our SmackDown chat as always. And here we are once again, and status quo first round, with the exception of Rollins going to SmackDown. Big coup for MF.
Yeah, it was a status quo. I mean, because no surprise with Drew McIntyre staying on Raw, especially as the WWE champion, and Roman Reigns staying on SmackDown as the Universal champion, and Asuka basically staying on Raw as the Raw Women's champion. And yeah, with the Hurt Business, I'm waiting to see what happens with that, especially with Retribution. But like you said, the biggest steal of this first round, Seth Rollins going to Raw. I mean, going to SmackDown. I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, I'm actually not surprised by it because he's been part of Raw from the beginning, ever since they went back to the brand split. And you've kind of figured that it was only going to be a matter of time before Seth Rollins makes the jump to SmackDown. Well, it finally happened, and I'm telling you, Fletch, I'm interested to see what big things they have for Seth Rollins on SmackDown. So we'll probably find out sometime next week. But other than that, a pretty good first round. Of course, the big headliner, Seth Rollins, leaving Raw and going to SmackDown. So, Dee Woodson, I give it to you if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, that was definitely big news for SmackDown. Big hit for Raw, but in the end, yeah, it's going to be something that's going to help shake up SmackDown just a little bit more. And more than likely, we're probably going to end up seeing Reigns and Rollins fighting again for the title. Not sure when, but I'm sure it's going to happen. So, not much more I'm going to add. I mean, it was a good first round, so it's your Sledge.
All right, and we do get into the first of the in-ring action here tonight. Big E going up against Sheamus. Falls count anywhere. Big E wins the match in 15 minutes. Anthony Florio, it is all yours, my friend.
Hands down, fight of the night right here, MF. I mean, 3.5 stars, teetering on 3 3/4, with only one person actually changing brands. The first, let me rephrase that. When it comes to the Falls Count Anywhere match, Big E and Sheamus held nothing back. Both men left this bout battered and bruised after taking each other to the limit. This feud might have lasted longer than it needed to, but this was a fantastic final chapter, especially if they end up on different brands after the draft. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But what a great match here, though. I mean, no question about it. This was hands down the fight of the night. So, Michael Bullock, you had some doubts during this match. You told me during our Raw chat. Our SmackDown chat, rather. You said you were worried about Big E's push getting affected by this match. Well, rumors of his push's demise greatly exaggerated, my friend. You had nothing to worry about. So, Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this was a 3.5-star match. This was hands down the fight of the night. I mean, both of these men definitely left. They held nothing back. I mean, they really took it, especially in the back, and they really left some scars on each other. And yeah, I think this is definitely a fitting end to this rivalry. So hopefully now they can move on to bigger and better things for both sides, especially Big E. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a very good match. I'm going to give it 3 stars for the. They went everywhere. They did everything that you would expect in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And they took some really hard hits, and even ended up in the parking lot. So yeah, I mean, it was great. I enjoyed it, and it was a good way to start the match part of SmackDown. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was a solid opener. This is a solid match. 3.5 stars. I totally agree with everything that you guys have said. Then there was a lot of promo segment stuff after that. Now, here we go. Round 2 of the draft. We started off with Monday Night Raw, and they select the phenomenal AJ Styles. Now, okay, this was expected. Paul Heyman is affiliated with Roman Reigns as his advocate. Paul Heyman and AJ Styles. It's been very documented that there was a little bit of a falling out between the two of them, but prior, where it led to AJ asking to go to SmackDown, which he did. Now that Heyman is on SmackDown, AJ goes back to Monday Night Raw. I think Floyd was not going to be too angry with that decision. Then we get is Sasha Banks goes to SmackDown. Expected, no big surprise. She's got a big title match here tonight, so obviously they want to keep her on SmackDown. Monday Night Raw with their third pick makes a surprising selection, though. Naomi goes to Monday Night Raw. Now, this was out of right field. I don't think none of us saw this coming. Naomi goes to Raw. Does that mean the Usos follow? Very interesting. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. Then we got Bianca Belaire goes to SmackDown. Now, already, right off the top of my head, I'm thinking, wait a minute. If Bianca goes, Does that mean the Street Profits go? Because we know Montez Ford is married to her. Is it possible that we get Montez Ford? Wait, you'll get my thoughts about it a little bit later on. Final pick of the second round, Monday Night Raw selects the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax as one entity. That means Raw retains the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. They do not jump. So, Anthony, round 2, you could definitely claim Raw gets the victory because of the fact that A, the Women's Tag Team title stays on your show, AJ Styles goes, but if you look at SmackDowns, with Sasha going, that's no big surprise, but the Bianca Belaire move actually had me thinking, is it possible
The Street
Profits might be heading to SmackDown? And if that's the case, oh boy, we got a major problem. Because that means the Raw Tag Team titles might be heading to our brand on SmackDown. How's that gonna work?
I have no unearthly idea. But we have a similar situation, and that's the big revenge, the sweet revenge coming up for Monday Night Raw in a little bit. Because we're going to have to get into that little scenario there, MF, like it or not. But anyways, let's see. Phenomenal One going back to Raw. That's not a big surprise. Him and Paul Heyman don't get along. We all know that. It stems back to when the Good Brothers were released by WWE. AJ felt that Paul Heyman should have went to bat for them to save their jobs, but obviously he probably did not. So obviously there was nothing he could do. AJ didn't like it, so now that we got the Phenomenal One back on Raw, who knows? Maybe he could be a future challenger for Drew McIntyre down the line. I mean, that would be a dream title feud right there. That would be awesome if that comes to fruition down the line. Sasha staying on SmackDown, no big surprise there. I mean, her and Bayley, they got the big. We got a big announcement about that later on, do we not? Ooh. It's one we were hoping for. And then from there, Naomi going to Raw. I absolutely love this. Our women's division is a mess, and we needed a shot in the arm, and this is a shot in the arm. I mean, with her natural athleticism, with how gifted she is, how high I've been on her over these last few years, and I've been praying and hoping for the day that she would come to Raw, and now finally my prayer's been answered, and this incredibly gifted, talented woman is going to be on Team Red. That's going to be awesome. Welcome aboard. We couldn't be any happier. I couldn't be any happier. Well done, USA. Well done. But man, MF, as I was getting excited about Naomi, you had to steal our best kept secret in Bianca Belaire. Oh, think of all the fun matches those two could have had if they didn't pull the trigger on this. But no, MF. I mean, you've got a future star in the women's division on Team Blue now. So
there's already talk about a Sasha Banks Bianca Belaire program.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, there's already talk about that. There's even talk about maybe Sasha and Bianca teaming up and working together as a team to try to go after the WWE Women Tag Team titles.
Oh man, they would give Nia and Shayna a run for their money. No
Absolutely.
Doubt. Not only that, but they could most certainly win the titles. There's no doubt about it, and they could bring the titles back to SmackDown, which would make you very happy, MF. So, but for now, they're on my show. They're on the A show, Monday Night Raw, and Nia and Shayna staying put. I mean, I could have done without Nia Jax because of all the negative feedback she gets, for her being unsafe and all that. But I'm damn happy we still have Shayna Baszler. I mean, I love Shayna Baszler. I mean, you know how much I love her, and I would love to see her get her. I mean, she should have been the Raw Women's Champion. She should have won that at Mania, but it is what it is on that. But one day, I believe she will. But for right now, we have more shakeups in the first round than we did in the second. I mean, we got AJ coming back. I'm damn happy about that. You see my avatar, the Fortune 4. He was the heart and soul of that, and that's all I can say there. I'm happy that. I mean, I'm so glad he and Heyman don't get along because that benefits me this time. It benefited MF, months ago when AJ was traded to SmackDown. I mean, it's only been a few months, but hey, we got AJ coming back to Team Red. Think about him and McIntyre. That could be epic down the road. I would love to see those two throw down for the title. That would be one hell of a feud. I would love it. And then from there, and then we get Naomi. I'm pleased with that. And Nia and Shayna staying and Sasha staying, but Bianca Belaire to SmackDown. Wow, that's a big coup for UMF. No doubt about it. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, unlike the first round, we had a lot more surprises here. I mean, Bianca Belaire going to SmackDown and Naomi going to Monday Night Raw, and the phenomenal one back on Monday Night Raw because of his not getting along with Heyman. So Bullock, your thoughts on round 2?
Yeah, I thought I like this round. I mean, yeah, like you said, AJ Styles going to Raw. I mean, like you said, not a big surprise. I mean, especially the hatred between Styles and Heyman. I mean, and of course with the women's tag team champions staying. I mean, of course Naomi going to Raw, but basically Sasha Banks staying, no big surprise. But yeah, I mean, Bianca Belair going to SmackDown. I mean, like you said, the big question now is, could the Street Profits be joining them? Especially since Montez Ford is married to Bianca Belair. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. We'll find out about it come night 2 of the draft on Monday night. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Whitson, I give it to you.
Yeah, this is very newsworthy for the second round. Lot more switching, the stars, and I think this shakeup I think is going to be really good, both all the way around, because both shows had lackluster in certain areas, and this is definitely going to be one way to bring up more attention to that area, or to try to fix that area. The old saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, we know both shows had stuff broke on it, so now we're trying to fix it. And one of the biggest things that has been broken kind of on both shows is the tag team division. And of course, we all knew about the Raw women's area was a mess. So yeah, this is definitely one way of shaking it all up, and bringing it all to a point to where hopefully we'll get some fresh matches, we'll get some new outcomes, and hopefully both shows being a little bit more exciting. So I have nothing negative to say about any of the draft picks. I think they did a good job picking who they picked. I am with you guys, I'm curious what's going to happen with the Street Profits now and stuff. So we'll have to see what happens there. So nothing more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, and with that said, we move on to the second official match of the night, as it was Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy versus The Miz and John Morrison. Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy wins the match in 5 minutes and 30 seconds, but then, unfortunately, we had an interruption. A big interruption. Lars Sullivan is back, and he destroyed Hardy and Riddle. Michael Bullock, it's all yours. Give me your thoughts.
What was the time of the bound?
5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was a fine match. A little bit short. I'll give it about maybe 1.5 for the effort. But yeah, Lars Sullivan. I mean, surprising that he's back. I mean, especially after that terrible injury that he had that kept him out for I think almost over a year.
Well
If
over a
memory
year.
serves, well over a year. Yeah, but yeah, he's back and he looks real good and boy, he really went to town on Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle, and who knows what to expect of him on SmackDown, or should if he if he is going to be on SmackDown once the draft is over. But yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
It was a really short match. The match was all right, but yeah, it's just way too short for my liking, and not really big on Lars Sullivan. I could have done without that part of it, but of course, you went from Matt and Jeff Hardy to and uh, Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy. So I mean, it's a different Matt and Jeff, but you still had a Matt and Jeff. So that was kind of interesting, kind of cool to hear the announcers, referring to that way. So I'm not going to rate it just because of the fact that it was too freaking short, but it is what it is. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was all right. This is pretty good for what it was worth. I mean, short match, about 2 stars. Really, nothing more to add here. And the thing is that to see Riddle and Hardy work together, that was pretty awesome. That was pretty unique. One of the rare times that I could say that was actually really good. I actually enjoyed it. I liked it. There was really nothing more to add there. And then on top of that, now you got Lars Sullivan back. We already know it's been a while. He has been out. He's been out since June of 2019. He suffered a knee injury, and then there was some comments that he made on social media that got him in big time trouble. And a lot of people thought, oh, he's done. He's never gonna come back. Well, he's back. We're gonna have to wait and see how he plays. And on top of that, he's eligible to be drafted on Monday night. So he's been thrown into the draft pool for Monday's second part of the draft. So we're gonna have to wait and see how that plays out. It's gonna be very interesting to watch. So nothing more to add on that. Anthony Florio, about 2.5 stars, but dude, seeing Riddle and Hardy together, man, I'm thinking tag team on that one.
Perhaps, no question. But Lars Sullivan, wow. Looking into what has happened, it was all right. Now, what happened was he made his debut on the main roster the night after WrestleMania 35 last year. He attacked Kurt Angle, and then he went after Rey Mysterio and the Hardys. 8 days later, he was moved to SmackDown. That was a Superstar shakeup. He had a feud with the Lucha House Party. And then during a rematch, it was on the June 10th, 2019 episode of Monday Night Raw that Lars Sullivan sustained a severe knee injury with a predicted recovery time of 6 to 9 months. Well, it was a lot longer than that. And he was out for a year and 4 months. That's 16 months. He should have been back at least 7 months ago. But no. But he finally came back tonight, and so that's the story there. As far as the match goes, 2 stars. I agree with MF's rating. I mean, this was unexpectedly short and did not allow either team to shine due to a commercial break, taking up more time than the match itself. A few nice moves does not make a complete match. The return of Lars Sullivan is going to be controversial for obvious reasons. It'll be interesting to see how the WWE Universe reacts to his presence, because about the all of those issues that he had that got him into serious trouble. So that's going to definitely come into play. But that's all there is to say on that. 2 stars. I definitely agree. Bullock led off on this, correct?
Yes.
All right. So MF. So it's back to MF.
And it's back to the draft picks. 3rd round. Here we go. So we start off with Monday Night Raw. They select half man, half amazing Ricochet goes to Monday Night Raw. Then SmackDown with their next pick, they select Jey Uso. Okay, hold. You already know what that just meant. The Usos, as of now, has been split. Jey Uso goes to SmackDown. Jimmy Uso is a free agent at the moment. We don't know where he goes. But I believe Jimmy will go. I think Jimmy will go with Naomi. He will most likely go to Monday Night Raw. But Jey Uso now becomes property of SmackDown. Very interesting. Then Monday Night Raw grabs Mandy Rose. So Mandy Rose, she was there. SmackDown, you had a chance to get her. Raw say, nope, we are not letting her go. Especially after everything that's been happening. We see her as the next Trish Stratus. You know, we just benefited after The Miz made the trade to get her to Raw. We're not letting this one go. No, the blonde bombshell stays with us. She ain't going anywhere. Sorry, Fox. Sorry, Mikey. You're not getting God's greatest creation a second time around. You had a chance. You lost her. All right. We'll take the loss on this one. However, we did end up selecting with the next pick Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. This was an interesting pick for SmackDown Live because this is great news for us. The Mysterios go over to SmackDown. I'm very high on Dominic Mysterio. I really like this kid. I think he really has some bright upside. Bringing him over to the Blue brand, great opportunity. And on top of that, it will continue the storyline with Seth Rollins. It's not done yet. So that is interesting. He stays on SmackDown. He goes to SmackDown, goes with Seth. So that storyline is not over. I wish it was, but it won't. Now the question is Murphy going to come to SmackDown? That's going to be very interesting. Or does Murphy stay behind and go to Raw? So we'll have to wait and see. Murphy was not on this pool for tonight. He's on the pool on Monday. So we're going to have to wait a couple of more days to see where Murphy falls. But right now, he's still in the pool, in the draft pool. We don't know where he's going to get swapped yet. Then the next pick, and the final pick of round number three, Monday Night Raw selects The Miz and John Morrison. All right. I'm happy with this pick. They were responsible for Mandy Rose going to Monday Night Raw. They caused a whole bunch of trouble for us on Raw. Goodbye. Get riddance. Get the bleep out of my show. You ungrateful SOBs, and especially The Miz, was the reason why we lost Mandy in the first place. So I was already pissed off at him, and I am not going to shed any tears that jack-off is now on Raw. So he's Florio's problem. Florio, you deal with that. Good luck, brother. And as far as I go, I'm happy with SmackDown's picks. Jey Uso, obviously, the rivalry with Roman Reigns, we're not gonna end that at all. They're gonna be fighting in Hell in a Cell anyway. So obviously, that was the right decision. Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio goes over. That's a cool decision too, because of the fact that, number one, they got the storyline for Dominic, Rey, and the family. They have a situation going on with Seth Rollins. Obviously, you don't want to end that storyline. But two, Dominic Mysterio now has an opportunity maybe to become an Intercontinental Champion. WWE title's out of the question. I mean, Universal title's out of the question because Roman Reigns is probably going to hold that for a while. But Intercontinental, because of who the champion is, who is lame duck man Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio right now, he could get thrusted into an IC title feud, and I could see him a future Intercontinental Champion, my friends. So, I got nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, quick little thought. No really big surprises here in round 3 for either show.
You wouldn't consider the Mysterios a surprise? I kind of do. I mean,
not anyway, really because of the storyline with Seth Rollins. I kind of had a sneaky feeling that they were gonna do it, but I was kind of holding out hope. But I was happy that they did it though.
Yeah, even though the feud's gone on kind of long, the feud's kind of overstayed its welcome a little bit. But
I agree with that.
But now it's your problem, MF, and not mine. So that's one good thing that comes out of it. Okay, so let's get into this. Ricochet staying on Raw, no surprise. I mean, with the Hurt Business, obviously the story there. Jey Uso, obviously, with Roman. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens to brother Jimmy. That's all there is to say on that. Mandy, I mean, I am beyond over the moon about that. The only thing I would have wished, though, I only wish Mandy was still on SmackDown up until this night. That would have made it even better. Because if we had gotten her while she was still on SmackDown, oh, MF, I would have been rubbing your nose in it. I would have.
Yes, I would. You would have killed me on that one.
Oh, but don't worry. In a little while, I certainly will be. But anyways, but nonetheless, though, I mean, Mandy Rose. I mean, the little running gag that MF and I have had for years, God's greatest creation besides me, and you know the routine there, MF. But the WrestleMania 17 moment. But anyways, I am so over the moon about Mandy now permanently on Monday Night Raw. They made it official here tonight, and I only wish that this would have happened with Mandy still under SmackDown contract. That would have made it even better. But who cares? We still got her, so I'm happy. Everybody knows how much I love her. The Mysterios going to SmackDown. I mean, but then again, MF. I mean, Rey Mysterio. What was the show that made Rey Mysterio a household name when he first debuted?
Yeah, SmackDown. SmackDown was his debut too.
He's going home, MF. Homecoming.
Absolutely.
But this time he's bringing his boy with him. So you get the boy too.
I wonder if that's also gonna bring Aaliyah and Angie, because it sounds like we just got the whole Mysterio family on SmackDown. If you think about it.
Yep, they're no strangers.
Because it's a package deal. You brought Rey and Dominic. You got to know Angie and Aaliyah are not going to be that far behind. So I'm pretty sure we got them too. We'll see them hanging around on SmackDown.
Yeah, and for this whole thing to be complete, you guys got to get Murphy too. So we'll have to wait until Monday to find that out. Now, one interesting caveat in the draft is, for any superstar who does not get selected on television, they will become free agents, and he or she will have the option to sign with any brand they want. So he or she could sign with Raw if they so choose, or they could sign with SmackDown if they so choose. But we'll wait and see on that. But Miz and Morrison, I mean, a decade ago, I would have been excited about this pick. I would have been over the moon about this pick, but considering how garbage and lame they are nowadays, I can't say I'm excited about it. I mean, these guys are basically a funny comedy tag team with all this lame nonsense going on, and And they're going to be on the same show as Mandy Rose, and I hope Mandy gives them both hell, especially Miz. That's all I can say. Give them hell, girl. That's all I can say. So, yeah, give the so-called Mr. Awesome one, give him a piece of his mind. So, and whatever you want to do to Morrison, well, fine with me too. But MC Miz and Johnny Drip Drip, really? I'm getting these guys. I'm not getting the Miz and Morrison, who were the greatest tag team of the 21st century when they were WWE and World Tag Team Champions, when they were winning all those tag titles years ago. If I was getting those guys, I'd be happy. But nowadays, ew, gross. No, get out. But unfortunately, they're my problem now. You're right, MF. So, as Bautista said, I'm going to have to deal with it, but not happily. So, that's all I can say on that. So, interesting round here. So Bullock, the big nuke here, the Mysterios going to SmackDown, and the garbage version of Miz and Morrison, not the fun version, but the garbage version. Now my problem on Raw. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio now on SmackDown, but like you said, this doesn't really surprise me because Rey Mysterio spent most of his career on SmackDown. And SmackDown is like his home, and yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what I'm sure they're going to continue that storyline with them and Seth Rollins. So yeah, I mean, Miz and Morrison. I mean, years ago I would have loved this, but you're getting this version of them. No. And especially now with Mandy Rose now on Raw officially. And I'm sure Fletch was pretty happy that the Miz and Morrison got traded to Monday Night Raw. It's probably like goodbye and good riddance, you two shitheads. And I hope Mandy Rose really gives them hell, and especially the Miz who forced the trade of Mandy Rose to Monday Night Raw just to get her away from Otis. And Dee Woodson, I'm gonna steal a phrase. I hope Mandy Rose takes the Miz to the woodshed and beats the you know what out of him.
Hey, I'll help her.
Yeah,
I'll help her with that one.
That would make it even really good. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say on it. So Dee Woodson, I'm just gonna give it to you.
I mean, all I'd have to do is just drive up to Cleveland and go meet his dad. I mean, that's not very far away. About an hour's drive from Alliance to Cleveland. So, hey, not a big deal here. But yeah, this was a good round. Yeah, the Mysterios coming to SmackDown, slight surprise. Because, I'm kind of like everybody else. I thought the feud would be over between the Mysterios and Seth, but it looks like it's going to continue now on SmackDown. And yeah, there's a lot more opportunities for Dominic over on SmackDown than there would be on Raw. So, yeah, it's definitely a very interesting turn of events. Now, of course, also having Miz and Morrison over on Raw and with Mandy Rose, and seeing what's going to come of that. I definitely expect her to have some choice words for the boys. They're not men; they're boys. So. And I'd say with the little new nicknames they gave themselves, they lost their man card. So we all knew they couldn't sing, so they've pretty much proven that they're, other than their so-called wrestling talent, they're worthless. I mean, if you've even seen any of Miz and Mrs., you can tell he's not worth much. So, not much more I'm going to say. I mean, it was a good round. Interesting where people were placed. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, so we go right back into the actual in-ring action, and here is one of the biggest matches of the night: Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Title. Sasha wins the match via disqualification in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This kind of was expected. This was one of those where we kind of were hoping for an outcome. We knew we weren't going to get it tonight. However, going into it, we were like, maybe we weren't going to get a resolution tonight. Unfortunately, we don't get a resolution tonight, but we will get it at Hell in a Cell. Sasha Banks issues the challenge to Bayley, SmackDown Women's Title match inside of Hell in a Cell. So we'll wait and see how that responds. I'm probably guessing Bayley will accept and we'll go one more round. We don't have to talk about the match. It was pretty short, so we're just going to cut that out. We will go on to the next match of the night. SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line. The New Day. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Yeah, that's right. Xavier is back. First match back since an Achilles injury that sidelined him for over a year. They go up against Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, winners of the bout, in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And no! SmackDown Tag Team Champions! And more importantly, Michael Bullock, I know you want to do it because they are now a 9-time WWE World Tag Team Champions!
And you want to know why? Because New Day
Rocks! New Day Rocks!
One more. New
Day Rocks!
Oh, it's been a long time since I've been wanting to do that.
And you know what? After all the craziness and everything else, unfortunately, Dee Woodson is the one who has to leave off on this.
Oh,
Dee, we
Probably
apologize. Oh, she's probably laughing her head off. She's probably trying to control herself right now because of what we just did. She's probably like, I cannot believe these boys just did that right now.
Idiots.
But Dee, it's all yours, my dear. New Tag Team Champions, the New Day, 9-time champions. It's all yours.
Oh, brother.
Oh, I love you, Dee. I love you, Dee.
MF as Big E, myself as Kofi, and Bullock as Xavier. He's just going at home.
Oh, boy. And unfortunately, every time these guys do this, the first thing that pops in my head is the twerking that these guys do. Oh, okay. Well, congratulations to New Day for winning. I didn't really see a whole lot of ring rest with the guys tonight. They seemed like they did pretty well with the situation they had. And it was about time to change up the tag teams again. I mean, Cesaro and Nakamura have had it for quite a while. So I'm not entirely upset that New Day got it. I'm not going to get into what happened next, just because that's part of the draft situation. But I think we all know what happened there. But yeah, I mean, then Big E coming out to celebrate with him, that was great. It looked good to see the three of them back in the ring again. at least for tonight. So not much more I'm going to add. I mean, it was a 3-star match. It was definitely one of the matches of the night. So it's yours, Fletch.
Okay, so with that said, yeah, this was an excellent moment. This was a 2.5 to 3-star match. Great psychology, great storytelling, great everything. The New Day are once again the champions, and it is a great moment. I was absolutely going nuts. Dee Dee Woodson, myself, we were all like we were talking about it. New tag champions, we were going wild. History made again, and it was a great moment. I'm happy. Congratulations, New Day. Congratulations to Kofi and Xavier. Unbelievable. Xavier Woods, first match back in over a year after suffering a really bad Achilles injury, comes back to win the belts. And for Kofi, a great story for him because of the fact that not only does he win the belts back, but he wins it with his fellow New Day brother. As you remember, Kofi was a WWE champion, lost the belt to Brock Lesnar, was able to win the tag team titles with Big E, only to lose it to Nakamura and Cesaro. Then in turn gets the next opportunity with his other New Day brother, with Xavier, and now captures the belt again. Kofi Kingston has had an up and down year like you wouldn't even believe, and Xavier has had probably one of the worst years ever because, he couldn't be in action, he couldn't wrestle. You got to see his brother win the title at WrestleMania a couple of years ago. Then with the injury, he was sidelined for all that time, rehabbing, hoping to get an opportunity. Tonight on draft night, gets the opportunity and captures the gold. Unbelievable night, unbelievable moment. Celebration in the New Day camp. Pancakes for everybody. Anthony, it's yours.
I'll take some buttermilk. That's all there is to say on that. I love
Amen, brother. Amen to that.
With some nice fresh maple syrup. That's how you start a day, baby. No doubt about it. So, yeah. All right. Second best fight of the night. A smidgen too short for my liking, but it was a fun little sprint. No doubt about it. I'll give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. Just to be upfront, part of the reason this match gets the nice rating here has to do with the level of excitement associated with seeing Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston return and win the Smackdown Tag Team Championships on the same night. But isn't that why professional wrestling is different from other forms of entertainment and sports? The spectacle and excitement determine how enjoyable any given match is to the viewer. The action in the ring was just as good as you would expect from the 4 men involved. This was fun from start to finish. New Day get their revenge from the horror show at Extreme Rules back in July. That's when Nakamura and Cesaro won the titles in that tables match. But Kofi and Xavier get the belts back on the same night they return. That's incredible. And in case you're scoring at home, lost in all the funny ha-ha hijinks we just had, a little laugh riot we just had. When it comes to our version of the New Day, MF is the Big E because he loves to have fun and all that. I'm the Kofi Kingston because because of his wrestling ability and the voice of reason. And Bullock is the Xavier Woods, and because he does that damn trumpet better than anybody I know. So that's all I can say on that. So I love it when he does it. So, and we were doing it when we had our SmackDown chat. We were hooting and hollering when they won the titles, no doubt about it. And Bullock did the trombone and all that. So there's nothing more to say on this. Solid 3 stars. Congrats, New Day. So Bullock, nothing more to say. In the immortal words of MF and Gorilla, history was made.
Yes, history was made again. Yeah, I'm happy for both these guys. I mean, both of them are coming off of injuries, especially Xavier Woods. I mean, this hasn't been a good year for him, but to come back and now he's a SmackDown Tag Team Champion, so that's got to be good for him. So I agree, 2.5 to 3 is the correct rating. Second best fight of the night. Well, Fletch, it's time to get to the next round of the draft, and this is one that's going to have a lot of people talking about it at the water coolers, at work, or at the donut shops, in some of the places, because this, well, as you heard that cackle from Floria, well, Fletch will tell you why. So I'm going to give it to you now, Fletch, so we can get right to it.
All right, it led to the final round of the draft, or the final round for tonight of this round of picks, as it was Stephanie McMahon came in and she announced them, and the New Day celebration was short-lived because at first Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods got selected to Monday Night Raw. So we're like, all right, well, so they go to Raw. What happens to Big E? Big E goes to SmackDown. The New Day has been split apart. And the other irony is the New Day, or Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They're going to Monday Night Raw. So, and to round out the rest of the round, Dana Brooke goes to Raw, Otis goes to SmackDown, which actually, as a matter of fact, that might have just broke up Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery might have just broken up. Because Tucker is not, he didn't get drafted yet. He's on the list. But as of now, I think he's a free agent at the moment. And Angel Garza goes to Monday Night Raw. So, this really, this was the moment that everybody flipped. Everybody went nuts. Fans were pissed. The New Day has been broken up, and it's happened right before our very eyes. What the bleep was this? We were celebrating 5 minutes ago, or a few minutes ago, after the New Day won the titles, and then to see that happen, oh man. I'm happy for Woods. I'm happy for Kofi, because they'll do great, and that's a major shot in the arm for Raw for the tag team division. But that is a dagger in the heart to SmackDown and to Big E. But the thing is, Big E could now become a major player on SmackDown Live, and I really think a lot of people believe he will. It's a land of opportunity for him. But yeah, this hurts. And then more importantly, Otis stays on SmackDown. He doesn't go to Raw, doesn't go with Mandy. He stays on SmackDown. The Miz and Morrison are gone. He's free and clear right now. He's got Money in the Bank, and he's free and clear of Miz and Morrison. They're gone. There's no more threat. So, maybe this is good news for Otis, too. To know that Miz and Morrison are gone, they were the biggest threats to his Money in the Bank. They're out of it now. They're gone. So, What happens to Otis? What happens to the Money in the Bank? That will become interesting. There's a lot going on, man. But yeah, the biggest story is Monday Night Raw was deliberately USA, you sons of you know what. You just did the unthinkable. You broke up the New Day. You broke up the Brotherhood. Basically, that's like Florio and Bullock going bye-bye and I'm stuck behind. I'm stuck on the island. Oh, man. Florio, this hurts. When I heard this, my jaw hit the floor. And if you heard a heartbreak, it wasn't coming from East Providence. It was coming from Seekonk, where I was at the Walmart when I heard the news. My heart dropped. It's yours, man.
Oh, you might have heard me, Jesse, laughing in the background a little while ago, and I was laughing because I get to be the spoiler here, and you know how much I love to be the Jesse spoiler here. Turnabout is fair play, as the old saying goes, and you remember, MF, back in the summer, Sasha Banks stole the Raw Women's Championship. The Raw Women's title for a while was exclusive to SmackDown. Well, guess what, big boy? We got your tag team titles now. How do you like that? Wow. Okay. But I got a feeling that's not going to last. I don't know why, but I got a feeling, I smell a rat. It's not going to last. But for at least on this night, I'm going to enjoy it. Believe you me. Undoubtedly the bomb of the fifth round. I mean, everything else was status quo. I mean, Big E staying on SmackDown, a big push in line for him. You know, there's no question in my mind that I believe that he will be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns as the Universal Champion. I think it's going to happen at WrestleMania, and I'll even take it a step further. I think he's going to win the Royal Rumble match, the men's Royal Rumble match, come January. But we'll have to wait and see. Those are my big, bold predictions for Big E. I think he's being groomed to be a future Universal Champion. Dana Brooke on Raw, you know, they just threw it together randomly with Randy Rose. That could be a potential threat to Jackson Baszler down the line. We'll see. Otis staying, no surprise there. The Money in the Bank, you know, the whole thing. Vince McMahon is a big fan of Otis, so he's got that going for him. If you got the boss in your corner, I have heard rumors about them possibly taking the briefcase off of Otis, but I heard Vince is a big fan of his, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And Garza staying on Raw, that's not a big surprise. So really no big surprises, but the big bomb, obviously, Kofi and Xavier both going to Raw. Big E staying on SmackDown. I mean, but the SmackDown tag team titles for the moment are exclusive to Monday Night Raw. And Michael Cole said it at the outset. If a current brand's champion gets drafted to another brand, that the title that he or she holds will become exclusive to that brand. So for the moment, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships are property of Monday Night Raw. Oh, that is sweet revenge after Sasha stole the Raw Women's Championship from us back in the summer. But like I said, I smell a rat there. Something could happen. Maybe on Monday night. We'll wait and see. But, you know, I could see them possibly losing the belts on Monday night. And whoever they lose to, they could end up going to SmackDown and bringing those belts back to SmackDown. So you better pray to God that happens, MF. So, but, man, nothing more to say. So Michael Bullock, I mean, pretty so round for the most part. But the big bomb, Kofi and Xavier going to Raw, and Big E staying on center, but Kofi and Xavier going to Raw. And as of this moment, for the moment, the SmackDown Tag Team titles are exclusive to Raw. Yes, awesome.
Don't celebrate too much, Florio, because like you just said, it's not going to last long. I got a feeling something's going to go down on Monday night, and where they'll defend those titles, and then whoever it might be will be the ones to get drafted to SmackDown. That's what I think is going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, this was this was an average portion of this draft, but like you said, the only big surprise was the SmackDown Tag Team Champions going to Raw, and obviously Big E staying on SmackDown. So the New Day is no more. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that New Day's got split up, but I'm going to draw you all back to Otis and Tucker and The Miz. If you go back to that backstage segment, of course, he got taken out by Lars. That lawyer lady came in and told or served them, saying that they've got a continuance. That means that storyline is not over, even though Miz is way over here on Raw. We still have that storyline of them trying to take that Money in the Bank away from Otis, guys. So we'll have to see what happens on that.
Here's the problem, though. Otis won the Money in the Bank.
Yep.
That should automatically make him eligible to fight for the SmackDown title, which is the Universal title. So what? The Miz takes the Money in the Bank, tries to bring it over to Monday Night Raw? That'd be the biggest mistake of his life. You know who the WWE Champion is?
Yep.
Drew McIntyre. That'd be an instant fail. Everybody knows McIntyre would beat the crap out of the Miz.
Yep, he would. But we got to deal with this first. We got to end that storyline. And it's not over yet, unfortunately. So we have to somehow conclude this within the next week or so, I'm hoping. But yeah, it's not over with yet. So that kind of hopefully will clarify it for you guys, that you two are still going to have to deal with the fact that Miz is going to still be tied to SmackDown for a little while with trying to take that from Otis, which I hope does not happen. I'd love to see Otis go for a title. But yeah, it's sad because Tucker's hasn't been picked yet. But then again, the announcers also dropped the bomb that the Smack Talk or whatever that's on Saturday morning, they're going to be doing some more draft on that. So we need to kind of keep an eye on that.
Yep, we will. And great note on that, Dee, because on Monday night, on Ridiculously Raw, before we do anything, Anthony Florio will announce the Talking Smack picks. That would be done on Raw and SmackDown respectively before we go through anything else. So that is exclusively Monday night, 11 p.m., hosted by Anthony Florio. Anthony will have the exclusive announcements of those picks. So we'll have that.
Yep. So yeah, it was kind of technically an average round, but still at the same time, we have some loose ends that have not been tied up, and that's what we're going to be having to deal with, at least through, hopefully, like I said, the next week or so. I'm thinking it'll probably be at least through the end of the month, since Thunderdome only goes till the end of the month. I think they'll hopefully have it wrapped up by the time we get to Hell in a Cell. So let's hope and pray this whole Money in the Bank thing will finally end and we can get that all taken care of, separated, so that particular storyline won't be tied between the two shows. As for the SmackDown titles, that it's a very big possibility that they will lose it tomorrow night, and it will go. It'll go over to back to SmackDown with whoever the new ones are. A scenario that I've kind of thought about was maybe, the Street Profits lose the Raw titles, gain the SmackDown titles, and then they come over to SmackDown since Bianca's on SmackDown. Never know. We'll have to wait and see. Otherwise, if the Street Profits are transferred to SmackDown, then SmackDown automatically gets the Raw titles. So either way, if the Street Profits, which is what I'm thinking is going to happen, is going to SmackDown, SmackDown's still going to get some sort of a tag title, whether it's theirs back that New Day have, well, the two members of New Day have, or the Raw tag titles that the Street Profits have. So we'll wait and see what happens Monday night when we have the next rounds of the final rounds of the draft. So it's yours, Fletch.
How crazy would that be if the Street Profits brings the Raw tag team titles to SmackDown? What a conundrum that would turn out to be. The SmackDown tag team titles on Monday Night Raw, the Raw tag team titles on SmackDown. We'd be looking at it. It would be one of those like, what the what? Okay, hold up, this ain't working. Wait a minute, time, hold. I know Floyo would be like, no. You bring those Raw titles back to Monday Night Raw, and I'd be yelling at Floyo, then you bring the Smack titles back to SmackDown. Didi Woodson probably would threaten both our butts, saying, all right, boys, knock it off, or I'm going to use the checkered apron on both of yous.
It would be like a gorilla. It would be like one of those vintage Gorilla and Bobby fights.
It would be.
Yeah, there's several times that not even even on SmackDown, but also on here, I've said to you guys, I've called you all children. So yeah, you guys definitely probably would be getting the mama treatment here. So or the big sister treatment or something. I mean, yeah, it would happen.
All right. So, well, with that said, I guess everybody put their 2 cents in. So let's just go right into the main event. The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Kevin Owens. Fiend wins the match in 10 minutes. It was an alright main event. I don't think it was anything special to talk about. I mean, it was a solid way to close the show. It's gonna get more interesting. We're gonna have to find out how this plays out. This is gonna be real interesting to see. So, with that said, I'll give this about maybe 2.5 to close to 3. Good main event. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. This was another just about 2.5 to 3-star effort here. It was more fun than expected. The Fiend no selling most of KO's offense just made it more fun when KO would start to rebound. These are two guys who know how to put on a good match, but this should not be their last encounter. They worked well together and need to keep this feud going. For that to happen, either the Fiend goes to Raw and KO stays, or the Fiend stays on SmackDown and SmackDown gets KO. And I know MF would love that more than anything. But it's going to be on one show. So, but I think but I have heard, I mean, there could be a possibility the Fiend goes back to Raw. I mean, I would love to see that, or maybe not. We don't know. But I'm gonna give it about 2.5 to 3 for the effort there, no doubt about it. So, but it was the top match of the night for sure. We had 3 quality matches and then all the draft drama. So, all in all, solid show of SmackDown this evening. But we'll get more into that in a moment. So. Nothing more to say. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the main event there?
Yeah, I'll give this about 2.5 stars. I mean, it was a solid main event. A good way to close out SmackDown. So there's really nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 to 3 stars. It was a good main event. Not the greatest main event, but it was good. And yeah, this feud definitely needs to continue. We need to come to an end on it. I think the biggest draw on the main event here was at the end when you see the Fiend and Alexa at the top of the ramp looking at each other, and then they look back down at KO. So there's definitely a big draw here, and some sort of a triangle between these 3. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we'll have to kind of see. Because earlier in the night when they showed KO in the back, Alexa came up, said something to him, and then ended it with "let him in." So she's definitely doing the Fiend's work, trying to get into his head and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens, if this is going to continue or not. So not much more I'm going to add. It's your Sledge.
All right, and well, let's give our final thoughts on this crazy night. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
I would probably give this around 7 to 7.5 for the effort. I mean, overall, the first night of the draft had some interesting developments, but did not have as many surprises as many fans would have liked. But nonetheless, though, I mean, 3 quality matches. Biggie and Sheamus stole the show with that Falls Count Anywhere bout. That was amazing. History made. On top of that, we got a surprise title change with Kofi and Xavier winning the Smackdown Tag Team Championships in a very good match. Main event was better than expected, and of course we got some more developments. I mean, storyline progression. What is that? What has SmackDown been known for since Brain Extension 2.0 started in 2016? Storyline progression, and we had a lot of it here this evening. The Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Let's not forget about this. It's not going to be your average Hell in a Cell match. It's going to be a Hell in a Cell I Quit match. So pinfalls and submissions, forget about it. The only way to win is for your opponent to utter those 2 legendary words, I quit. So it's an I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell. So, and now we're going to have 3 Hell in a Cell matches, 2 from SmackDown and 1 from Raw. We got the 2 world titles, and we're going to get Bayley and Sasha. 3 Hell in a Cell matches. First time since 2009 we're going to see that. So we'll address that more in a couple weeks when we preview the event. But for right now, I mean, and yeah, those 3 quality matches, and then of course all the drama from draft night and everything else, and so that's all there is to say on that. So I would say between 7.5. I believe that would be the best score for this show here tonight. So nothing more to say except I can't wait for Monday night, and I'm praying that hopefully we'll have some more bombshells here. I mean, I believe we're going to have a lot more draft picks than tonight, considering SmackDown's a 2-hour show and Raw is a 3-hour show. So I think we'll get a lot more picks. So nothing more to say. 7.5. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's about 7 to 7.5 as well. I agree with everything you said. I mean, yeah, not a lot of surprises from the first night of the draft, but who knows? Maybe Monday night we'll get some more, but we'll just have to wait and see. So nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, it's about 7.5, I would say. It was very newsworthy tonight, especially because of the fact that we had the draft going on. And there was a few interesting things that did happen with the draft. A lot of it, not so lackluster, or was a little lackluster, but some of it, pretty big. Most of the matches, was okay. A lot of them, or there's at least 2 of them that was pretty short. But it was, like Florio said, a lot of storyline progression here. And, now we're trying to start building, as we go into this draft, we're getting ready to start building all the new storylines from all the new people that's going to be going back and forth from show to show. So we'll see what happens after the draft on Monday when we have our first SmackDown with the new roster. And of course, even then you still have some of the old roster, like the New Day having their farewell match. That'll still be there, but the next couple of shows are where we're going to start seeing this build of the new storylines and stuff from the new rosters, and see just how this is going to affect the 2 shows. If it's going to make them better, if it's going to make them worse. If we go from SmackDown being really good almost every week to Raw being really good every week. If they're going to be equal, this is the kind of questions that will get answered in the course of the rest of this month and into the next month as we work off of the new rosters. So, not much more I'm going to add. I will see you guys Monday night. Good night.
Yeah, and it was a good show. 2.5. This was a 7 out of 10, no doubt about it. And like she said, we're gonna do it all over again on Monday night with Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio, and it will be interesting. So we're done for the night. Tomorrow is NFL Saturday, hosted by Anthony Florio. We got everything going on. We got all the games on Sunday. We're going to recap the Thursday night game. We got all the games on Sunday. 2 Monday night games. 1 Tuesday night game. Believe it or not, there is a Tuesday night game. We'll get into all of it. 10:30 Eastern, as always. Thank you, Anthony Flayo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, Dee Woodson, as always. Thank you, guys. Like the video. Leave a comment at the bottom. Share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. We will see you tomorrow night. For all of us here, so long, everybody.